Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So episode 4 is finally here and we have a lot of interesting new additions to the game. So I wanted to highlight some of the major changes, the content, the changes to the farming loop, ultimate Esiemo, Onslaught, bounties, things like that. So before I begin, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the first Descendant team and Nexon for sponsoring this video. We'll begin with Onslaught. So last month we got the beta version of Onslaught. We tried it out for a couple of weeks. We tested it. We gave our feedback. The team looked at the feedback and they have made some necessary adjustments. So first up, for the public matchmaking, they've added something called the RK activity. Now this looks at your build, your gun, your reactor, your RK tuning, and gives you some of these points. And you have to meet a minimum threshold before you can join a public lobby. Now you also need to be mastery rank 18. Now this has been added so that under level descendants or people who haven't fully fleshed out their builds, they don't go into endgame content like Onslaught and then take down the whole team by constantly getting knocked. So great move, and this way people can also get an idea of whether their build is strong and has been fully built. So level 1 or stage 1 has the requirement of 78,780. Level 2 and level 3 have 81,580. So as usual, you have to clear level 1 and then you can do level 2 and then level 3. They also have rewards, very interesting. A lot of the rewards have been increased, the superconductive, the XP that you get from playing the missions, the Onslaught missions has been increased. You also have weekly challenges and things like that. The main reward you get with Onslaught will be Ancestors modules. When you clear stage 1, you are guaranteed 2 rare or purple rolls on your Ancestors module. When you clear stage 2, you are guaranteed at least 1 ultimate roll, and when you clear stage 3, you are guaranteed at least 2 ultimate rolls. So the level 3 Ancestors modules will be very valuable. So yeah, so overall this has been greatly improved. I have tested this earlier. I've played level 1 and level 2, and the fact that everybody is properly built makes a huge difference. Everybody knows their roles and it's just a lot more fun and easier to handle without stressing out about your teammates dying. Even if somebody gets knocked, it's not as bad. You also have random events happening where you have to go and destroy certain things or certain enemies, and that will give you the tools, the points needed to set up the barricades and things like that. So yeah, so overall they have refined the Onslaught mode quite a bit, and there will be more additions in the coming months, next month in June as well as July. So yeah, so I'm really happy that Onslaught mode has been fine-tuned and improved, and while still keeping the difficulty. So that is good. So great mode for endgame players, veteran players who have all the other things already in the game. Now next up is the bounty operations. So these bounties are also another endgame activity, and this is a very interesting setup as well. So basically every day of the week you have certain bosses that you have to go and hunt, and once again you need to have 81,580 RK activity. So this is similar to the Onslaught mode in terms of difficulty. In fact, it's even harder in my opinion. And every day one set of descendants can take part, so one element type. So for example, today is Thursday, and today the electric descendants can take part in hunting down Plaudia, the gnawing calamity. Now this mission starts by tracking the boss, and after a few attempts you find the boss. You try to finish them off, but they run away, and then you have to again do a bit of tracking and then finally defeat the boss. This was particularly difficult because this was my first attempt and I had a bunny teammate. As you know, Bunny and Ines are kind of squishy, so it took a while. But yeah, this is properly challenging content and maybe even slightly harder than Onslaught in my opinion. Now, of course, we'll have to see the other days because some of the other descendants are a bit stronger, so it may not be as hard. But with Bunny and Ines, it felt like a proper challenge. Of course, I did not have the new modules for Ines as well, so that may be the reason. But yeah, I'm genuinely surprised because I was not expecting this new mode as well, because I was only thinking about Onslaught. So this is a new addition and it looks fun, and the rewards are fantastic in this one. Now before you go here, you have to get something called a Vulgus biochip. You can get this from different missions. You can get it from Onslaught. You also have the daily missions that give you on these data chips. So if you do well, it's a weekly, sorry. So if you complete the Axion Infiltrations Operation Support, you can get the biochip. Now, when you get the biochip, at the end of the bounty, you can open, there's a shaping device, and if you are lucky, you might get a lot of materials. I got a trigger module box, and I got, I think, 1300 superconductive cooling in one go. So the rewards are massive with this bounty. So a really surprising and interesting mode they have added over here. Now let's talk about the new Descendant, and it is Ultimate Esiemo. So the last of the Fire Bros is getting their ultimate version. Now for farming Ultimate Esiemo, there has been a big change with the farming, as you know, and you have to go to the underwater base to get his amorphous material. Now the big change here to the amorphous materials is that each amorphous material will now have all the parts of the Descendant. There are many other changes with farming, which I'll go in more detail in separate videos. But for now, it's much more simple. You go to one location where the amorphous material will drop. That amorphous material will contain all 4 different pieces: the nanocell, the spiral catalyst, the stabilizer, and the code. And also you will get the material needed to research, as well as the transcendent modules. All of it will be in one location. So you can go there and you can grab that. Now the material that you need is called dimensional spectral prism. And you can get this from isolated desert as well. So let's say you went to the underwater base, you got all 4 pieces of Ultimate Esiemo. And so you just need the prism thing, the material, and you can then run the isolated desert to get that instead of going to the tougher underwater base. Now, another thing is they have added a unique story, a Descendant story for Esiemo. If you do that Descendant story with Esiemo, you will get 100 of these spectral prisms. So you can at least research one of the items here. So the farming has been simplified so that you don't need guides to understand how to farm something. Everything will be in one amorphous material. So whether it's a gun, whether it's a Descendant, everything will be in one amorphous material, and it will also contain any relevant modules like the transcendent modules for Esiemo. Now Esiemo gets 2 new transcendent modules, and both of them are fantastic. One has been designed for more melee use. You can attach bombs when you use melee weapons, and the other one you can stack the bombs and explode them together. So that will be more useful against tougher enemies and elites and colossus. So yeah, so I haven't managed to start farming him yet, so I'll try and get this done as soon as possible. But yeah, he's looking pretty good here, very powerful. And also the normal Esiemo has been buffed as well. So if you have normal Esiemo, you can try him as well, because I've been trying normal Esiemo while I'm doing these things, and yeah, he's surprisingly good as well. He seems more powerful even without much in terms of changes to the build. Next up is Valby. So a few changes to Valby as well. She gets a good rework. First up, she gets fusion as the archetype for all her skills. So previously we had a mixture of dimension and fusion. Now it's all fusion. So you get a lot more power from various skills. The third skill has been changed a little bit. So now instead of sort of, gliding around, she's sort of riding a surfboard, let's say, an invisible type of water surfboard. And while you are in this third state, you can use your skills 1 and 2 as well. So this is another new addition to Valby. Skills 1 and 2, you can see we can use it while she's on her third skill. Yeah, so pretty good here. Supply moisture also gets some changes with the third skill. You will now reload the weapon in hand when it reaches 0. So yeah, so plenty of changes. Of course, look forward to some of the build videos coming. I think we can make multiple build videos with the different transcendent modules for Valby. Next up, we have Ines. So Ines also got quite a few changes. She got new transcendent modules that are designed to help her with her single target damage, because that was one of the issues with Ines. Also, the existing plasma ball transcendent module has been modified. So now she does this continuous electric damage, or let's say lightning damage, to enemies nearby. And so they've also refined this one. They've also given her more damage to her third ability. So yeah, so generally a good buff all around for Ines as well. Again, look forward to builds in the coming days for the various transcendent modules. Next, we got 2 new weapons as well. I have the Frenzied Locomotive in my hand here. This is available in the Battle Pass. This is a machine gun using general rounds. Now, the unique thing here is you don't have to worry about ammo. So you have to fire the gun and you have to manage the overheating with the gauge on the right. So as long as it doesn't overheat, you can keep using the gun. So this is a fantastic addition because it's completely different to every other gun, because you don't have to worry about putting ammo rounds or picking up ammo rounds or taking the Vesper's hunting dog so that you can keep getting ammo. You just have to manage the overheating. As you can see, it is glowing. It is too hot now. And so you can just basically let it cool a little bit and then keep fighting again. So another fantastic addition. I'll try and have a build out for this as well as soon as possible. Next up, let's also talk about the new battle pass. Of course, with Esiemo being the main descendant, there is a sort of fiery theme, let's say. We have an interesting outfit for the male descendants and the female descendants. This is the back alleys of Albion. This is the common skin available in this battle pass. And there's one separate for males and one for females. So the female one is at the end over here. And you also have various emotes, again, with the same fiery theme with Esiemo. You have this boxing emote as well with, you can use it with anyone. But yeah, so plenty of interesting additions with the battle pass. And then finally, let's talk about the new skins that have been added with this 21st May update. We have the Goddesses of Albion. So as usual, you have certain descendants getting very specific themed skins. You have Bunny, you have Freyna, you have Luna, you have Serena and Harris. There's also a complete bundle if you wanted to get all of them. You also have emotes and spawn animations. So let me just show you that as well really quickly. So if you see, this is the Arrow of Love emote. Very funny here. And then, of course, you also have the spawn, which is again Esiemo themed, let's say. So this is one of them. The other one is the Descent of the Goddesses. So yeah, this is the new addition here as well for the cosmetics and various things. So yeah, so these are some of the things that have been added with this episode 4. Of course, plenty of other things like the Abyss Colossus, Defiler returns, various other minor changes, trigger modules, and you also have all these adjustments to the farming loop, which I think I'll try and make a few more videos to explain everything in detail. But a lot of things have been simplified, made easier to understand for new players, for returning players, and for existing players. We have harder endgame content that you can tackle with solo or with other teammates. So just wanted to do a quick summary of everything coming. Hopefully this was interesting. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.